I want to now explain a technique that many experienced drivers use to help them get into the driving zone before they drive. Many collisions and crashes happen within 5 miles of where we live. Part of the reason is this. Before we get into our vehicles, most of us have a bunch of chaotic thoughts running around in our heads. The phone conversation I'm having, thoughts about a problem with a friend, did I leave my homework on the bed, I'm late for class, and so on. So much distracting mind clutter. Any one of these thoughts can prevent you from getting into the driving zone before you actually drive. In order to push our non-driving, distracted thoughts to the back of our minds before we drive, we're going to develop some physical actions and mental triggers that hook us into that driving mindset. The words I use as mental triggers to get into the driving zone are 3, 2, 1, go. These words set in sequence are triggers for my mind when spoken at the same time as performing physical actions. I say 3 when I touch the door handle of my car, and then I say 2 when I put on my seatbelt. I say 1 when I put my foot on the brake pedal. And finally, I say go, the last trigger word before turning the key or pressing the engine start button. Saying the trigger words at the same time as performing related physical actions like touching the car door or putting on a safety belt are critical in this process. After I put on my safety belt is when I check all the things we were talking about in the studio. Is my seat in the right position? Is the floor mat messed up? Steering column correct for me? Is the radio where I want it? Do I need to program the GPS, etc.? After I'm set and comfortable, only then do I continue finishing up with the mental triggers of 1 and go. I use this technique of a physical hook to help focus my mind before I race and also before I drive on the streets. Please use your own words and actions that make sense to you. The use of 3, 2, 1 and go are only examples. This type of refocusing and redirecting of the mind is something most of you will recognize. I'm sure most of you have felt different before a test, before a speech or sports competition. You were focusing your mind, trying to remember exactly what you needed to do. You were ready to catch a ball, speak on a subject, or answer an exam question. Well, that's exactly what 3, 2, 1 can do for you. Help get you ready and focused for driving. Again, this technique is something new and different. Please give it time. Practice every time before you drive.